Let's just dwell a little bit on Lilibet and Archie. We saw a little bit more in a video posted on Meghan's Instagram page.
Well, I'm getting fed up with seeing the back of their heads and hearts stuck over their faces when they go to Disneyland and things. I mean, either show them or don't show them at all. But I mean, you can see what she's up to. I just think there's going to be a terrible revenge when those children grow up. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would be very annoyed if I found that I'd been used in all these posts in a strange way by my parents. And equally, they're also going to grow up at one point and discover that they never knew their grandparent, their grandfathers. I mean, Mr. Markle, I personally think of course, he's a broken man, but he's a rather sweet man, actually, and he did a lot for that girl when she was growing up. Didn't you think?
I spoke to him a couple of days ago, actually, and he's just absolutely still distraught about the fact that he still doesn't have contact with Meghan.
And then, of course, they will also wake up to realise that they could have been, the cousin to Prince George, the future king, and they could have been over here having a nice time, and with the other children, their cousins, they aren't going to know them. I mean, the only hope in that direction, if I'm sort of, being serious and sort of less aggressive about it, is I think Princess Eugenie could do quite a lot, because she's obviously the one who's close to Prince Harry, and if all that, do you remember all that Portugal business? They were going to buy a house and things, and if those children that met Eugenie's children, then perhaps eventually they can meet, Prince George and the others. But I don't know. It seems, I think I would be, I could just see a horrible revenge coming from those children.
Interesting. Well, look, at the Platinum Jubilee several years ago, I took a wrong turn after one of the events, and I walked into an area I wasn't meant to be. And Peter Phillips' children, Mike and Zara's children, were all playing around, jumping on each other, jumping on Mike's back, jumping on Peter Phillips' back. And it was actually a really kind of joy to watch. And that's what occurred to me there. I thought, well, wouldn't this be great if Lilibet and Archie could hang around with all their cousins?
And I mean, I've said it before, but the Queen always had somebody with her when the Sussexes came to see her to stop them taking photographs and, exploiting the situation.
Meghan Markle has always known the power of an image. Every photo, every caption, every appearance, perfectly staged for maximum impact. But what happens when the images involve her children? When Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet are turned into part of the brand? Today, we're asking the uncomfortable question. Will Meghan's children one day look back and feel used? Since stepping back from royal duties, Meghan has built a lifestyle identity, part royal, part influencer. And the cornerstone of that identity, motherhood. Her posts, interviews, and projects often circle back to how she's raising her kids with compassion and modern values. But critics say it's also a clever marketing tactic, the relatable mom image packaged for global consumption. Social media has become Meghan's new palace balcony. Every carefully chosen glimpse of family life keeps the world talking. A hand on a small shoulder, a fleeting birthday picture, a quote about parenthood. It's intimate, but controlled. And while fans see warmth, others see strategy. Just enough visibility to humanize the brand, but never enough to lose control of the story. Here's the problem: childhood memories live forever online now. What looks like harmless content today might feel different years later. When Archie and Lilibet are old enough to scroll back through their mother's posts, will they see affection, or will they see a PR tool? That's the tension every modern celebrity parent faces: privacy versus publicity. Even supporters of the Sussexes have started to notice the pattern. Every new initiative, podcast, or documentary includes a personal family angle. It keeps the brand emotional and relatable, but it also keeps the children in the narrative.
I mean, it's pretty interesting, this new Instagram PR strategy, though. I must say, I know we talk about the backs of the children's heads. The children's faces were front and center of those videos. So it seems like this new PR team has just chucked everything that she previously had out the door and said, no, we want you twerking, we want the kids' faces, and we want everything out there, and we want the public to be able to dissect it. So that's a very interesting sort of shift for that brand, Meghan and Harry. And I really think that it's tragic that the King and Thomas Markle Sr. were not included at all and are not in the children's lives. It's really a tragedy.
Well, because we had the contrast there with Williams, where we had two pictures of all his 3 children. There was a before and after, wasn't there? There was a before where they were all
Oh, yeah.
pictured
Yeah.
cuddling their father, and then they've got him on the floor and they're
Yes.
having a little bit of a play with him. And what did you make of the contrast between those
Do
two?
you remember the royal wedding pictures that Patrick Litchfield took? Again, there was a moment when he said, "Okay, guys, it's all over," and they all flopped down together, and he took a quite sweet picture of everybody, all the bridesmaids and everybody all sort of tumbling over each other. Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. And of course, I've said this before too, but can you come back to Mother's Day? I thought you celebrated your own mother on Mother's Day, not yourself as a mother. And again, we've got Prince Harry as a father being celebrated. So she obviously is not going to celebrate either the King or Mr. Markle. So, yeah.
Not her own father who paid all her school fees.
Exactly, and took her on the set and everything. And, you know, and just go back to, sorry to keep going back to the past, but why did Mr. Markle never meet Prince Harry? And there can only be 3 reasons for that. 1, that she was ashamed of him, which I think was a bit pretty unattractive. 2, possibly that she thought he'd done something. But when Prince Harry rang Mr. Markle up and asked if he could marry his daughter, he said, "You can marry her as long as you never raise your hand against her." And of course, we don't talk like that. So maybe he lives in a world where people have done that sort of thing. I dispute that as well. I don't think that's the case. The 3rd reason is that I think she was worried that he might actually have warned Prince Harry that this is not what you're getting, this girl.
They're not 2 normal families, are they? They both married into. I mean, let's be honest. That both families have quite a lot of history. They've got a lot
Mr. Markle should have been at the wedding, and they should have flown him over,
Yeah.
stuck him in a health farm in the Shetlands or somewhere. Prince Harry should have gone up to see him, and if he couldn't have walked the aisle, he should have been sitting there, because as you rightly say, he did a lot for that girl. She even admitted it in the early days before she distanced herself from him.
And the more audiences sense that formula, the more questions it raises about authenticity. Prince Harry has always been vocal about protecting his family from media intrusion. So how does he balance that mission with the openness of Meghan's media strategy? Is this a united decision, or another point of quiet tension behind closed doors? The contrast between Harry's caution and Meghan's visibility is hard to ignore. Fast forward 15 years. Archie and Lilibet will have opinions, voices, and digital footprints that began before they could even spell their names. They may admire their mother's success or resent being part of the marketing. Either way, those posts will still be there, frozen in time, defining a childhood they never chose to share. Meghan Markle's brand thrives on storytelling, and her family is a central part of that story. But as history has shown, the spotlight can be a double-edged sword. One day, her children will decide how they feel about being characters in their mother's narrative. And when that day comes, the likes and headlines won't matter. Only whether they believe the story was told out of love or leverage.
He lives 3 hours away. There is no excuse. And
Still
actually,
now,
I have to say, it's pretty. Some of the circumstances that he's living in, compared to the riches that Harry and Meghan have, is appalling. And I will always defend that man, because I think that he has been absolutely wronged by that woman.
He's in the Philippines now, correct me if I'm wrong.
He's in the Philippines, yes. He is there with Thomas Markle Jr. and they're just trying to get away from it all. When we talk about privacy and, you know, Harry saying, "Oh, I want security," they have been hounded. They have had to flee the country, basically, to try and get some peace and quiet. So
he was 70 miles away, wasn't he? It wouldn't have been very difficult for Prince Harry
he was
to
in
have
Rosarito,
driven, the children over there to meet him. I mean, and she talks so much about, you know, relationships and things, and mucks up their own relationship. And one day, as you rightly say, he will die, and then there'll be a whole lot of, you know, what's Meghan, will she go to the funeral? She'll probably make a whole thing about it. And poor man, I feel really sorry for him, because if you listen to what he says, not how he's reported, but listen to actually what he says, he never says anything unpleasant, does he?
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. I think he does. I think over the years, I like Thomas as well. I spoke to him in the past.
He's reported as saying it's always, you know, it's always twisted.
Okay.
I mean, if you actually listen to the actual words that he says, he often, when he's interviewed, you can see him thinking for a bit, and he's very moderate. Well, and he was also very respectful to the late Queen, always, and admired her hugely. And what this couple have put her through is one of the things I shall never forgive them for in the last years of her life.
I hope it all ends well with Thomas, because as you say, I've spoken to Thomas in the past, and he's a very lovely, but slightly not damaged, but he's quite, he's been hugely affected by what he was thrown into when it emerged that Meghan married Harry.
It's very messy, and I actually think that without fixing the foundations of that relationship, both Harry and Meghan, they actually won't be able to pursue a sort of brand, because it's very hard to take them seriously when everything's a car crash behind the scenes publicly. So I just think without fixing these family relationships, you can't pretend to have this like lifestyle brand with linen and picking things. It just doesn't work. So I think that's actually, it's a bigger problem for them.
Okay, from deep-rooted family issues, let's try and settle something a little bit happier. I was at Trooping on Saturday. And I saw the Princess of Wales with Louis, George and Charlotte. They seemed a little bit more grown up. They seemed a little bit more better behaved, a little bit kind of more,
it's a
they were
year
more
since the
comfortable
last
in the carriage.
isn't it? Children do grow up rather quickly at that age. But yeah, no, they were all great. I mean, it was absolutely lovely to see. She looked absolutely stunning, I thought.
And this was a return, really, to Trooping, because last year she wasn't on the dais. This year she was on the dais with the King and the Queen. And that was quite a sight to see the three colonels with the colonels Anne, William and Edward on horseback as well. It was quite a sight.
Absolutely. Yes. Magnificent. No, it's very good. And she was also at the Garter ceremony on Monday as well, looking lovely.
It's been quite a week